Looking for some help with staying motivated and productive? Something fun, low cost that involves stationery? If you use a bullet journal or are interested in trying one out, you're gonna like this video in which I take you through my study log. It's a super easy to maintain system in my bullet journal that tracks when I'm studying, what I was doing, and allows me to give myself some feedback along the way. Feedback that helps keep me accountable and improving. If we're meeting for the first time, hi, my name is Jackie. I'm currently a PhD candidate at the University of Toronto. Welcome to this online community and channel all about productivity, academic life, personal development, having fun, that kind of thing. So today I have to work on my dissertation, and I thought it would be a really great opportunity to show you my study log, how it works, and how you might use it too. So if that interests you, then keep on watching. To set up the study log is very easy. All you have to do is write the title, which was study log, at the top, a column for time, a column to record the task that you're working on during that time period, and a place to give yourself a mark for how you think you performed. The purpose of giving yourself a mark is just to give you feedback of how you think you did and how you might improve for the next study session. I like to use these post-it notes and come up with a list of criteria for the day of the types of things that I'm looking to achieve when I am going through each of my study sessions. So here are some of the criteria that came to mind today. To keep a good mood, to stay focused, to have a great interest level in sort of what I'm working on, and to feel a sense of care for my work. Of course, avoiding procrastination and distraction, to create a cozy, comfy, enjoyable atmosphere for myself, to feel happy with my output at the end of the session, to feel that sense of motivation going up, sense of curiosity, to sort of get lost in what I was doing and not be as conscious of time, a concept called flow. And also just to feel like I have a good mindset and the way that I'm sort of thinking about my work and my goals. So I've written down the next half hour that I'm going to be working and what I'm going to be working on. I'm not going to elaborate further here, just, because this is a YouTube video, but I am transcribing interviews for my dissertation. And at the end, I'm going to give myself a mark out of 10 in terms of how well I think I did according to the criteria that I'm measuring myself by. But I'm also going to give myself a little bit of written feedback as well. And then I will get ready for the next half hour. Basically, this log is going to grow and repeat itself down the page. And I find that it helps to keep me motivated as I work throughout the day. I also find the feedback that I give myself to be valuable. It's important to be honest with yourself about how things are going. And it's just another form of accountability that I find truly helpful. So with that, let's get going. So my timer just went off, my 30 minutes is completed, so now it's time to see how I did. Anyway, so I've given myself some feedback now, and it's a little bit more than perhaps what I would normally write, but I thought I'd give you a sense of the types of things that I'm thinking of. So I was happy with the atmosphere I created. I noticed that I did reply to one instant message from a faculty member, so I could have waited on that. I did check the clock once as well, and just kind of wondering, when am I done? But I did have a good interest in what the participant was saying. So transcribing is taking a verbal interview and writing down word for word what everyone said. So that's what I've been doing, and I thought that I was doing a really good quality job of it. I was happy with the progress I made. One thing that I told myself was that I should start my timer to measure the half hour and then move my phone away from the table that I'm working at, just to avoid alerts and that type of thing. So now I'll give myself a mark or a grade, and it doesn't mean anything other than to myself. I sort of have in my mind, based on the criteria that I've come up with for today, like, what would a 7 out of 10 be? What would an 8 out of 10 be? What would a 6.5 out of 10 be? So let's see what I give myself. For me, this one is a solid 8 out of 10. Actually, maybe an 8.5 out of 10, to be honest. So what do we do next? Well, we take a break. But who are we going to do it with? Our friends. I have a few of my friends from school on Zoom at the moment, and our cameras are off and our microphones are off as I'm currently speaking. But we're going to check in with each other just to see how our progress went over the last little bit. Virtual study sessions are one other way to help keep yourself accountable and to make the process feel a little bit more social. So I'll see you after I check in with my friends. Hey, it's time to check in, everyone. We interrupt the studying for dinner. Look at this. So dinner's done. There were a few things I had to do, but I'm back to studying, and for the next half hour we are going to be transcribing interviews again. So you can see how I've just repeated the setup from above right here, and it will be the same process, so wish me luck. And for good mood, I'm going to be listening to this 30-minute soundtrack. You can find it on YouTube, Coffee Shop Calm Lo-Fi Hip Hop Mix, and the channel is called Ambition. Thanks for studying with me. So my timer has stopped and another virtual tree has been planted. And in the meantime, here is the feedback that I've given myself thus far. So I really enjoyed that cafe music, and I found that I had just a good level of interest in what I was doing, was happy with, the progress that I made. I did wonder at one point if the Forest app was working, the timer. And so I just took note of the fact that I was distracted by that, but really I was really good this time about not being distracted, and I didn't find my mind wandering. I just found myself really enjoying what I was transcribing, and I was learning something from the participant by just kind of going over what they had to say again. That was a solid 30 minutes, and like I said, things don't always go well, but where credit is due, I'm giving myself a 9. So I have been working throughout the day, and I think I'm going to take a break now, and perhaps I'll do one more in the morning so you can kind of see what the whole page looks like, how it comes together. In the meantime, sleep tight. I'll see you in the morning. And here we are. It's Friday now, and I am going to be checking in with my friend or friends on Zoom, depending on how many show up. I'm going to do one more study session and show you what the log looks like at the end. But on top of that, once I do that, I want to also talk about the advantages of this type of system in your bullet journal versus some of the other types of trackers that you see out there. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear my thoughts on that. So the studying continues, and I've just adjusted the post-it note up here. For good mood, for starters, I have a lovely Starbucks. Also for good mood, I think a lot of you will recognize this lo-fi hip-hop radio with the studying girl, so I'll play that in the background as well. Another half hour is on the clock. Let's do this. So here's how I did. I think this one actually went really well. I worked past the timer by a good 7 minutes and didn't really notice, and so it kind of tells me that I was in the moment and enjoying what I was working on. I found that I was really interested in what the participant had to say, and the only technical problem that I had was with my headphones. I ended up switching my music over to my iPad so that I could hear the participant as well as the music well at the same time. You all are helping me out here. I think knowing that I am making a video about this, you gotta give credit due where it's due, so I'm gonna give myself a 9 again. Now I know some bullet journalers can be quite aesthetic and artistic, and I'm a more kind of minimalist, get the job done, but I do enjoy some decoration and highlighters. For example, here it is again with some highlighting. I actually really like this. It does help things to stick out a little bit more, so that might be something that you consider. For a more aesthetic look, you can quickly add some washi. I actually really love this book washi here. It's super cute. I did a little bit of washi at the bottom. You could put some stickers in, whatever floats your boat and makes this feel like a fun process for you. So what I like about this type of study log approach in a bullet journal is that it gives you a lot of feedback That feedback you can then use to get better at what you do, and it also helps to motivate yourself and keep yourself accountable. I've come across trackers that are more like graphs, like lines of like how many hours you've studied, and there is some value in that. I personally prefer to automate that. You know, I think I would only draw that if I found it was helping to create some additional self-awareness for me, transferring it over from my app or something like that. Just as in quantitative versus qualitative research, quantitative graphs only tell you so much. In other words, how much you study isn't necessarily a good marker of the quality of what you've accomplished. For me, the more descriptive approach of giving myself feedback, giving myself a score that means something to me, that I find personally more useful. But that's not to suggest that other approaches are wrong or not valuable. Perhaps combined, they offer a lot. Given the nature of the work that I'm doing, you know, I'm working towards a big project, a dissertation, I find this method very helpful for me. So here's what I want to know. I want to know if anyone watching this video is also a bullet journaler, also perhaps a graduate student or a university student, or maybe you're doing something else. What methods do you use to sort of track your efforts, give yourself some feedback? Is it working well for you? What do you like about it? What do you dislike about it? I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments section if you try this method out. Let me know what you think about it. If you found the information in this video helpful, please consider subscribing to this channel and giving this particular video a like. Doing so is a free way to help boost this channel's signal, but more importantly, it's a way to, you know, join the channel's community and be notified when there's upcoming videos. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.